Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. Let's talk about The Amazing Race, episode 7. We're going from Jordan to France.
But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/nerdtainment.
Oh, happy
Good afternoon.
Saturday. Let's look at some castles in the south of France.
Yes, and let's do a detour while we're in France, you know?
It shall always be a detour in France. That's what it is.
Yes.
How much do I love castles?
Oh my goodness.
So much.
Yes.
I don't know what ones they were, but they were gorgeous.
This was the land of 1,001 castles.
I'd like to go there.
Yeah. I was actually kind of laughing that Phil said it's because there are literally 1,001 castles here. I'm like, literally? Like,
yeah.
They built 1,000 and then they're like, one more?
They're like, we want that funny record. And now you can't build anymore because you can't ruin that perfect number. We're going to see our groups that we were, teased about episode before.
Right. Because we're coming off the COVID elimination. So we're just staggered, leaving teams of 2 until our final team is leaving alone.
Oh, so far behind.
Yeah.
But group 1, we've got Team Miami and Team Salsa, we're calling them now because they have made it clear.
Yes.
They're not ballroom dancers.
Not ballroom dancers.
They're salsa dancers.
So
I'm supportive of this.
Me
David
too.
and Aubrey.
Yes.
Louis and Michelle.
Yes. And so it's self-driving. They're driving to they have to go to, or they're leaving from one chateau and then they have to drive to the next chateau. And I think there's this sort of should we drive together or should we do our own thing?
Yeah.
Because the self-driving is tough and we do see people get lost quite a bit this episode, but there are first 2 teams out.
Right. There are definitely navigational issues throughout this entire episode because there's a lot of self-driving.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound manual, but it's still in France and confusing.
Oh my goodness. Those maps and street signs look it's just not what you're used to seeing,
It's winter. She said I have sleeves for the first time.
I know. And look, I'm in a sweatshirt too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's hot here until it's cold.
Yeah. Literally one day to the next.
It's not really cold to the rest of the country.
Yeah. It's 71. But.
Okay. Anyway. Group 2, 15 minutes later, we have our team Big Brother and our cheerleaders.
Yes.
This is when Derek's like, hey, David and Aubrey, just follow us.
Yeah. And Louis and Michelle, right?
Well,
I think he drives past both of them.
Yeah.
It's like, follow me.
Louis and Michelle are like, no.
Yeah.
Wisely.
Yeah.
And then Claire, I love the way she said, dear Rick.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Yeah.
She was not a fan of that whole let's
but,
caravan.
I mean, he was like, well, then if we get lost, at least someone else is lost with us. And that ends up being the case.
Well,
that's what happens.
Are you trying to get people lost? It sounded like you knew where you were going. Follow us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see both sides.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Yeah. And then group number 3 are the military brothers, Marcus and Michael, and our twins, Molly and Emily. And yes, this is where we see Derek leading David and Aubrey the wrong way, directional issues. And then finally we get Glinda and Lumumba leaving last, but they're in good spirits again. It's nice to see them sort of recovered from, the difficulty of that previous leg in Jordan.
They are in great spirits. They have such a positive attitude.
They do.
Throughout this whole thing. They never see another team. So
it's like they're running the race by themselves.
They are running the race alone this leg. So this first roadblock is very cool. Who wants to climb the family tree?
Mm-hmm.
I think I would have done this just because of climb.
100%. But I was just about to say, watching this, I'm like, I think I could do this. Everybody looks like they're having fun on this one. Maybe we don't have anybody left at this point who's deathly afraid of heights, or maybe they just didn't have to do this one.
Right.
The people who were afraid of heights sat this one out, but I don't know. Everybody looked like they were having a good time. So I was like, maybe I could do this, but I'm certain if we got there with the clue, I'd have been like, Sarah, you go.
Oh, but rappelling is so fun.
Yes,
it doesn't look terrifying.
Yeah, it looked fun.
But you do have to memorize. And of course, looking at the family tree first, you're like, whoa. Overwhelmed.
What the heck?
Michelle
very smartly immediately was like, no way I'm going to memorize this whole thing. And I probably don't have to.
Exactly.
So let me rappel down, figure out what I'm being tested on, and then I'll come back up. And I was like, good for you. Like, that's very smart.
Very, very smart. After watching it for a while, I was like, okay, I can see that all of those blue plain ones are not important. So the important ones do pop out, but you still, why memorize more than you
need
have
the
to?
crests and stuff. Is what you're saying? Yeah.
The crests that stand out are the ones to memorize, not all those blue ones.
Right.
But all the plain ones, do they look? I don't know what they look like to you.
Yeah.
David. The ones that were just one solid color.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Those aren't important.
I just don't think about things in color. I just don't. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then we do see Michelle give Maddie the same suggestion.
Yes.
When Maddie gets there, because the cheerleaders get there second.
Yeah.
And she's like, rappel down. It's like, you don't need to know all this, you know? So there's a little bit of helping out there.
We see Michael is going to do it. Emily, Derek, then David. They're starting to arrive. They all followed each other. Apparently that did not work out.
Yeah.
Louis and Michelle figured it out.
They did. Now, Michelle is out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I think does she get it on her second try?
She does. And that's her when she comes back to see Maddie. Yeah. So she gives Maddie that and then goes down, gets it correct. And so
she was so cute when she was like, Jeannie with the brows.
Yeah.
And Jeannie with the stick. I forget what the things were, but she like had all these little like, you know, memory things for herself. I was like, good for you.
Yeah, that was cute.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. But then everyone is going to do okay. Like they're all going to have to go at least twice. Michael. Where did he go? Did you see him walk like out of the castle?
He stood from so far. He's like, you know what? I need the bigger picture here. I'm going to walk 50 yards that way and study the wall.
He's like, I'm looking, which is smart. If you're rappelling, look around.
Sure. Yeah.
Don't miss something as you're rappelling down. But then he's like still searching, and all of a sudden we see his perspective
so far away.
He doesn't even get to see the names.
Yeah, I know.
He's not right there.
Yeah.
Where the test is.
And I feel like
Michael,
I think there's like a wall, right? So
yeah.
he doesn't necessarily see everything, but I'm like, you see some heads on the other side of that wall, right? Like you can see the guy in the knight armor and like you can see people like running around, like get over there and study from over there. But he's just again sort of like overthinking things a little bit too much. But then we see.
Yep. Time out to check in on our last team.
On our last solo team.
Just racing themselves.
Well, they're headed up somebody's driveway or something, right? In the countryside of France.
They are not on the right
road. And they're like, get out of here, right? It feels very much like, oh, we got to turn around. Okay, we're going to put it in reverse. And then.
Well, there's a ditch there.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
Then the car is
Shot
in the ditch.
The car in the ditch.
That cliffhanger when we went to commercial, I was like, the car is on its end.
Yes.
Like,
they're almost upside down.
Yeah.
What? Oh my gosh. We just don't see this.
No.
And now we get to see security guy Roddy.
Yeah.
Is like, everybody okay?
Everybody okay. Yes.
Poor Clinda and Lumumba, like they have to crawl out because they're in a ditch.
Yeah.
And they're apologizing.
Of course.
To the crew that took this tumble with them.
Someone could have gotten hurt. Thank God no one did.
Seriously.
But then they're like, well, we can't call AAA. Anybody? Anyone. And the French woman who lives there comes out, Glinda says, within 5 minutes with her tractor.
A tractor angel. A French tractor angel. Comes down the path so quickly.
Yeah.
They were like, neighbors, we're on television.
Yeah.
Mount up.
Right.
What can we
Show
do?
them what we do in France. So they hook that car up to the tractor, pull it right out of the ditch.
Pull it right out. Not only is no one injured, the car is fine.
The car runs.
And Tractor Angel gets it out in no time.
Like,
genuinely, this was insane. I mean, it's crazy to laugh about it, but it's really hilarious.
It is.
That it all worked out.
And it's like, I wish they could take Tractor Lady Angel with them on the race. Because I think she's on top of her stuff. She's got it together.
Yes. That was so great. So they're going to get right back in the car and get back to their solo racing.
That's right. That's right. But they're editing it together to make it seem like
they're on their way.
Almost there.
They're coming.
The other people, they're still studying, and we're on our way.
Sure.
We're going to be there soon. Well, Maddie then finishes the Roadblock second. Then Michael goes down to do the thing, and he's like, ugh, I only looked at the men's names.
Okay, Michael. What? What?
You went so far away from the castle to get the whole picture, and then you went up and you said, I'm ignoring every woman on here, and I'm going to only study the men's names.
I am slightly offended as a woman.
I know. I was like, I don't know if we need to unpack that.
Yeah.
But like,
at another time, we will unpack this. I was like, Michael. But had he not walked out of the castle grounds, he would have been able to look at the names, and he did not have that information.
Because I think it's all women's names in the thing. It's like Janine to, like there are a couple different Janines, and we
hear when Phil is describing it that the challenge is the wives of.
There you go.
So I don't know if that was written in the clue, but we had the information that it was wives of.
Yeah. So Michael literally has nothing on that second time he goes down. So he's back up to the top now.
He is going to have to do it a third time. And then David is the other person that has to do it a third time. But everyone else, I believe, gets it on their second try.
Yes, right. We do see Big Brother finish. And then the military bros do finish right after that. But you're right. They sort of take an extra time to finish that one.
Did you see Marcus cheering?
No.
That was a cute moment. Because like Quentin's doing a cheer. And then Marcus does a little cheer. And it was adorable. Yeah. That was very fun.
I love that. Well, when the military bros finally make it out, right? Oh, Michael's had to do it a few times now, or Marcus, whichever one it is. And they get down, run down all those stairs to leave the chateau, going back to the car. Where are my keys?
Oh my God. It's so crazy that he's trying to be so detail oriented.
Yeah.
And then missing details.
Literally, like left bonkers. It at the top of the castle.
Where
you study the names.
Run all the way back.
Yeah.
And they give us some good drone shots here because they're running all the way back. David is finally finishing. Yeah. And they're going to be running out together.
Yeah.
I would say these are our last teams, but there's still a team.
There's still
that hasn't shown up yet.
That hasn't shown up.
Okay.
Yikes. Yeah. So then finally, we see Michael and Marcus and David and Aubrey leave. And it's edited to seem like up pull Glenda and Lumumba.
Sure. Right behind,
I'm sure. And I have no idea what the timing is on that.
No, but I'm looking for any clue that they have crossed paths. Cars crossing, people crossing.
Here's what I'll say.
None yet.
They would show us if they crossed paths.
If a car pulled out as a car pulled up, we would have seen it.
We would see that shot.
But no, Glenda and Lumumba pulling up with no one in sight.
I'm sure the actors are like packing up their bags and they're like, oh, one more?
Okay, there's another?
Okay, back to it.
Alrighty, well, right here with the crests. That team. Yep. Poor newlyweds.
Well, then we get a really, I think, kind of key self-navigation moment.
Yes.
We're at the like roundabout circle, whatever they call those. And the military brothers and Lewis and Michelle take separate exits out of this roundabout. And we hear Marcus say, like, I am confident in my map reading. Like I used to do this in the tank or whatever it is, you know?
In my tank.
And he is quite good at map reading.
Their navigation is so good. Yeah. In this moment, they pass 5 teams to get to that clue first.
Yeah.
There are 5 other teams that have left before them that could have gotten there and have not.
And they're shocked.
Yes.
They get to the detour box, pull out the clue, and they're like, we're first. We're like, how can we be the first ones here? But okay, let's keep going.
I was asking the same question, but let's not ask too much. Take it and run with it.
Yes.
So now the detour here is walnut cracking or medieval gamer.
Right. And the medieval gamer is like 3 different tasks. Which one do you think you would have picked?
I feel like we would love circus games.
I think we would have been like, let's do the games. We're fun. We're fun people.
We're gamers.
But I wonder, I don't know, the walnut oil seemed ultimately easier, or maybe it was just more straightforward.
Well, it's just more straightforward, right? And it's not terribly physical, so most anybody can get it done. Whereas the games are going to have an element of like, this one might take longer or whatever. I'm just going to be drawn to the games first. But we do see another team that's drawn to the games first.
Yes.
And they change their minds.
But first, the military brothers, Marcus and Michael, they're like, let's do the walnut oil. What's a walnut grove? They're standing in a walnut grove, looking around. Where's the walnut grove? Well, and thank goodness they're like, oh, they're just on the ground. Like, let's just grab the walnuts.
It is odd that like production was like, okay, we're in a walnut grove.
Right.
But they're not going to pick them off of the trees.
Yeah.
So we're just going to throw them on the ground. I mean, that is a little unusual. So it takes you a minute to be like, what?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There they are. So the brothers are going to figure that out. They're going to go to crack some nuts. And then Louis and Michelle, Team Miami, they're going to show up next and say they want to do the games.
The games, right. But they pick the hardest game first.
Hardest game.
And that did look tricky.
Oh, yeah.
That
would be tricky.
We have seen that in like Survivor and Big Brother, I think, versions of this game.
We've seen someone else do the directions, though.
That element was new.
Really hard.
Really, really hard. Yeah.
You're like up on left or whatever, and then what if you do your left, it's the wrong left, like you go up too fast.
Yeah,
that one is hard. They do it a few times, it seems like.
Yeah,
and then the other Detour is right there.
Yeah,
so it's so easy to be like, I see it, let's go.
Right, and we're in second, like we're still ahead of a lot of teams. It's okay to switch at this point. But I think if they're probably like doing this one and it is the hardest one,
right,
and they're thinking, oh no, we have to do this and then probably two more like it,
right,
like this level of difficulty.
Sure.
So
changing at this moment, totally understandable. So they're gonna run over there. We see the twins show up. They go to crack some nuts. David and Aubrey go to crack some nuts, and this is when Derek and Claire are like, wait a minute. Claire gets that strategic mind working, and she's like, nope.
She's like, if we want to pass somebody, we can't do the same, because she's looking at the walnut thing and she's saying everybody's going to do this in roughly the same amount of time. So if we want to jump ahead, our only chance is to do the games. Very, very smart on their
smart. And they're definitely a team that can do these types of games. They've done it on
They did
Big
it all
Brother.
Summer. Yes.
So go for it.
Now, somewhere in here, we see Lumumba finish the rappelling.
Okay.
Because they are right on everyone's tail.
Yes.
They are just
We don't get
so
much
close.
of it.
Yeah.
We just see him do a little, see it, rappel, got it, let's go.
It's almost like, wow, did he do that on his first try?
Totally.
They're making up time.
Making up time on their way. Here they come. So the brothers now are going to get out of the cracking the nut thing first. We get to see them do the oil and light a candle, which is
very cool.
Like,
I honestly didn't know you could do that with walnut oil.
No.
Yeah.
No idea. That was very cool.
Very, very cool.
Then we see Team Big Brother just flying through those games.
Kill them. They kill those games. They do well, first of all, Claire's like, I used to throw shot put.
Yeah, I'm good.
You all knew this about me, and you can tell by my body type that I threw shot put.
I was like, I actually don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
You did shot put? Okay.
So then she's like teaching Derek, the proper form to get that one up. Then they balance the rocks around that thing fairly quickly, and they're pretty good at the ball.
Yes.
Thing. Yeah.
And they were like, even Derek was like, I don't know. I said a thing. She did it.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I was like, lift up just slightly to the left.
Yeah.
And she went slightly to the left. Like, I don't know.
And he literally was like 2 centimeters.
Yeah.
And then Claire did 2 centimeters.
Yeah, they were really lucky on that hard one.
Yeah.
But very fun to watch. So they're going to be able to get out here. Then the twins, then Miami.
Yeah.
So I guess the twins passed Louis and Michelle there a little bit.
Then Salsa.
David
and then
Aubrey,
the cheerleaders.
Quentin
but everyone's like, no one's really struggling too much on this Detour.
Then guess what? Glenda and Lumumba show up.
They get there and they just done with those games.
No passing.
Yeah.
Nobody else in sight.
Yeah. It's like everything's like
just showed up.
When they did the balancing the rocks around the thing, it was like sped up.
Yes.
Like, let's just get through
they
this.
Really were. The editing was just like,
quick
and then
moments.
they play some games.
Yeah.
No.
Fast montage of games. Move on.
It worked because Glenda and Lumumba were just having fun at this point.
Yeah.
When I talked to them in their exit interview, because I was like, you didn't see anybody. Did that freak you out? And they said they have always played to try to get to first, but to take, your head in your game.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you're not seeing anyone doesn't mean someone hasn't accidentally driven off to another country.
Or into a ditch.
Lost their passport.
Yeah.
Getting in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
They truly thought at any moment now we're going to show up in the mat and we're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
So they were still
I love that they're able to, because you do, when you get to the Detour last and you pull the clue out of the box and it's the last clue, you're in last place. That's an indicator of where you are.
Yeah.
But I love that they're just like, forget it. You never know.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh.
But now we're going to see more navigation issues.
Oh my goodness. Team Salsa, David and Aubrey are having a hard time. And they've had some navigation issues before. Yeah. It's not their strongest suit, but we're seeing a full meltdown. And I think that production is really choosing to highlight this here in the edit to make us wonder.
Hope about Glenda and Lumumba.
Could they possibly pass Team Salsa?
Yeah, exactly. How bad are these navigation issues?
Aubrey's like fully yelling at David in the car, and they're like pulling over and having to ask for directions, et cetera.
They have to stop. They have to put their heads together to figure this out. Now, there was one shot where I was like, I can see the pit stop behind them. Oh. They're not that far. So
it's close.
Editing is not gonna work now that I saw that, because I'm like, I'm holding out hope. I'm like, is Glenda and Lumumba gonna show up?
Because we see them finish the games, and David and Aubrey are still out here driving around. No,
they were just down the street. Yeah, and they were on their way. Yeah. I did love that she said, "You need to go slower," and David said, "Give better directions."
He did. I think he also said, I'm going as slow as I can. And I was like, I think you actually could go slower.
But again, you're in a race. So I kind of felt David's response of really, you want me to go slower? Why don't we get better directions? Yeah. It's a race.
It's a race.
How slow can I go? But maybe he was flying. I don't know. But these kind of fights just happen.
Yeah, right. But it is very much a driving race to the pit stop. Yeah. We see everybody have some level of getting turned around and U-turns and all of this. I have to imagine the people in this town in France were like, we are never letting Amazing Race come back here.
They're like, haha, they went around there. And then they all went different ways off the roundabout.
It's like a cartoon, or the car goes this way, and then they come back, and then they go that way.
But let's go to the pit stop.
Number 1, Military Bros, Marcus and Michael.
Marcus and Michael made it up. It's so impressive when you can, put your navigational skills to use and get up there.
And especially seeing, like we said, this was basically a race between 6 teams this leg, and they left the chateau in 6th. And then completely turned their fortunes around with the driving. So good for them. $7,500 each. Yeah. They win. Very exciting for them. Moolah. And for me, because they're on my team.
And then Emily and Molly, 2nd place.
Yeah.
It's like we've flip-flopped back to the way it used to be.
That's right. Because they were 5-6 in the last leg. And here we are back to 1-2. And then 3rd is Big Brother. They show up with the twins, right? Aren't they on the mat at the same time, I think?
Yeah. That's true. Mm-hmm. Derek and Claire. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then Lewis and Michelle, they're right there. We do see crisscrossing as people leave. Lewis and Michelle show up at 4th. Yeah. Quentin and Maddie in 5th place.
They just can't shake that middling finish. They arrived to the chateau to do the rappelling 2nd. And so I was like, okay, maybe this is their leg, but it's.
I think that they've got navigational issues because they're doing just fine at the challenges. They're not having any problems. Yeah. And they're very fun. And I wish we got to see more of them in the edit. I'm worried that we're not seeing more of them, meaning that we're not going to have them much longer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how it's feeling.
Very much that. Yeah. And then 6th place, it is the salsa dancers, David and Aubrey.
David and Aubrey, of course, are going to take 6th place here. And then eventually our adorable Glenda and Lumumba are going to show up 7th place.
Yes.
And they will be eliminated.
They will be. But they were so fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And just such a good relationship between the 2 of them. And
they said they were more in love on the mat. Yeah. How do you not love them?
I know.
They're so lovely, and I enjoyed speaking with them. And
yeah, you got to watch that exit interview. That's great.
Please catch it. They were so fun to talk to. Of course, I asked them about Boom Boom. I was like, when's Boom Boom coming?
Yeah.
But you know, they're both very open about being in their 40s. Fertility isn't easy.
Yeah.
So they are sharing their journey. All that info is in the exit interview. So awesome. Check it out.
Yeah. So they're gone. We're down to our top 6.
Yes.
Halfway through now. Yes.
And we're staying in France, I believe, this next
More
leg.
France, and they're playing soccer. It looks like people are having a hard time kicking a soccer ball.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, guys. I mean, driving yourself in France is hard. I need y'all teams. Focus up. Communicate. So you don't get lost.
That's right. Yes. Now, where are we with the draft? Am I doing any better?
You know what? I did not update it.
Okay. Well,
so I don't have that answer.
I was thrilled to have.
What do you have?
First place from Marcus and Michael, and then David and Aubrey were 6, which would be 0 points.
Yeah. So you got 5 points for Marcus and Michael.
Yeah.
I lost my second team, Glenda and Lumumba.
Okay.
I lost 2 teams back to back.
James, I think, is going to win because he's got the twins and Big Brother.
He started out very strong. But Kayla, even though she lost 2 of her teams first 2 weeks, she has Lewis and Michelle. And they're just gaining steam.
Yeah, they've had 2 first place finishes now. They fell a little behind in this leg, but I think they're still a super strong team. So so I feel like James and Kayla are going to be just fine in this draft. It's the rest of us. It's us. Yeah.
Yeah. Quentin and Maddie gave me 1 point today because they came in 5th place.
Okay. Well, 1 point at a time.
You don't have the twins or Derek and Claire? James has them?
Yeah.
Yeah. James is going to take it.
He's going to win. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yes. I voted today.
Very nice.
Hope you're all voting. It is our right, but it is a luxury.
Civic duty. Yes.
It's a civic duty, but it's also an extra thing that we get to do that not everybody used to be able to do.
That's right.
So I say go for it. I'm also catching a red eye for some family health issues. So this is a busy day.
Busy day.
Had to get that voting in.
And the hair looks great.
Oh, but the hair is on point, right?
She's going to a party later.
Got to hit a party on my way to the airport.
I'm like, Sarah.
Oh, Lord.
Give yourself a break. But,
okay.
Yeah.
But also, too bad Team Miami's not here because my team Florida State's playing Miami today.
So. That's why they didn't show up.
Yeah.
They're scared.
Oh, they're scared. No, they're just
scared to face you.
Football party, probably.
Oh, yeah.
But I'll be tweeting with Lewis and Michelle about that game.
Very nice.
Everyone in the chat, thank you for giving your Saturday afternoon to us. It's so fun to have you.
Yes. And if you're joining us later, let us know what you think about Glenda and Lumumba going home. And what are your predictions for this top 6?
Yes. Who are you rooting for?
Yes.
What do you think's going?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Let us know, and we will see you guys next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.